Hello and namaste everyone. So Samsung has just launched the Galaxy M35 in India, and if you have been looking to buy a budget Samsung phone in 2024, I think the Galaxy M35 might be the best option for you. The M35 here is basically the cheaper Galaxy A35, and if you avail the bank discounts and offers, it is even more lucrative. Okay, so let's start with the unboxing, and like with most Samsung phones in 2024, we do not get a charger inside the box. So we have the phone. Before that, we only have some few other necessary stuff. There is a USB Type-C to Type-C cable, and there is a SIM ejector tool along with this paperwork, and besides that you only have the phone. Okay, and as you can see, you do not get a pre-applied screen protector inside the box. Also, you don't get a back cover inside the box, so you will have to spend a little bit more if you're buying a Samsung phone in 2024. Now, the first thing you will see Samsung compromise on the Galaxy M35 to meet the price point is the design. You get a pretty basic plastic build here, and the color options are less attractive than the Galaxy A35 too. It is also quite chunky, weighing at more than 220 grams, but that is understandable since this phone has a big 6000 mAh battery. Up front, the bezels, as you can see, are also quite thick, so the M35 overall is not a good looking phone for sure, and you also don't get any form of IP rating here as well. But it's not a big compromise for a budget phone, I would say. I, however, like the fact that you get Gorilla Glass Victus Plus protection on a budget phone like this, and during my 1 week of testing, I haven't had any big scratches or anything like that, so that's nice. And another thing that's nice here is this super gorgeous AMOLED display. It has really good color calibration out of the box, and the touch response is great. It can get fairly bright for outdoor visibility and can be super dim during nighttime. Couple that with the decent stereo speakers here, this is a good phone to binge watch movies and stuff. Although there is no HDR video playback support on OTT platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime here, otherwise for the price, this is a good A+ display. I also like the vibration motor on this thing. It's actually better than what you get on more expensive Samsung phones like the Galaxy A25 and the Galaxy A35. So the typing experience here is not that bad. By the way, you don't get an in-display fingerprint sensor here. It uses a capacitive fingerprint sensor which is located comfortably and is quite fast too. As for performance, this phone uses the same Exynos 1380 which we saw on the Galaxy A35. So when I reviewed the A35, I said that the Exynos 1380 is not a good enough chipset if you're paying over 30,000 rupees, but for a budget phone, it kind of makes sense. I have the 8GB RAM variant with me, and for normal uses like browsing the internet and using social media, it's fast and responsive enough. The 120Hz refresh rate is fairly smooth too, with no lags or stutters. It also has a vapor chamber cooling solution, so on my usage, I do not face any kind of heating issues either. However, you will notice app opening to be a tad bit slower, and when you try to game on it, you will not get the best of experience here. For instance, you can play PUBG Mobile in smooth graphics and extreme frame rates, and the average FPS is around 58. But as you can see, the 99th percentile is just 48 FPS, meaning you will notice some stutters during combat. And high graphics games like Genshin Impact have a miserable 99 percentile. So if you game a lot, I would suggest you go for the CMF Phone 1 or the Poco X6, which will provide you with much stable FPS. Anyway, the two areas where Samsung phones do a much better job versus the competition is with the software experience and the cameras. Here, the Galaxy M55 comes with Android 14 and One UI 6.1 out of the box, and the software here is clean with very little bloatware, no ads, and effortless experience. Samsung is also promising 4 years of OS and 5 years of security patches here, which is the industry's highest on a budget phone. Camera-wise, you get a basic 50 megapixel camera with OIS and 8 megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens, a 5 megapixel macro camera, and a 13 megapixel selfie camera. But with Samsung optimization and processing, the photos come out really good from this phone. The dynamic range and white balance are also decent, and the way it processes greens and blues is eye-pleasing and social media ready. However, the details on the photos are not that great. I noticed the photos to be a little soft when you zoom in, and you will also notice photos getting noisier during low light too. But because of the pleasing color tone, I like the output that I was getting. The Galaxy M35's portraits and selfies are also quite optimized. It produces a nice skin tone, and the background blur and exposure management is really good too. However, it would have been better if Samsung provided the 2x portrait option. This option is now available in most Android phones, so that seemed like quite a miss. Surprisingly, the 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera is not that bad. Although the dynamic range and details are compromised, you can click some good-looking wide-angle landscape shots from this phone, so that's nice. For videography, you can shoot up to 4K 30 FPS videos from the main and selfie cameras. Although OIS is disabled, software-based EIS works to stabilize the videos to some extent, and I was able to get decent stabilization. The 1080p ultra-wide-angle video isn't great though, with low details and higher noise levels. Okay, so far for a budget phone, the Galaxy M35 has a good display, acceptable performance, 4 years of Android updates commitment, and above average cameras. But the USP of this phone is its battery life, truly. Because it has a 6000 mAh battery, which is much larger than the usual 5000 mAh industry standard. So even on my heavy usage, which included hours of watching YouTube videos and playing Clash Royale, the battery would remain at 15 to 20% before I go to bed. And this is one of the rare phones where even if my battery is at 10 to 15%, I was comfortably carrying it around because I know for sure it would last me for a couple of hours. Charging, as expected, is not very fast. It has a 25-watt charging support, and with the 65-watt Ugreen GAN charger that I use, it takes the phone from 0 to 100% in about 1 hour and 30 minutes. So yeah, not as fast as I am used to. Overall, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, I genuinely feel like the Galaxy M35 is the best budget Samsung phone under 20,000 rupees. Yes, I understand the Exynos 1380 isn't the fastest chip, and you will definitely get faster phones at a cheaper price, but other aspects of this phone are simply unbeatable. Plus, the reason why people like to buy Samsung phones is number one, they have the highest number of service centers, and number two, Samsung update history is really good even on budget phones. So when Android 15 rolls out, it will be one of the first budget phones to receive that update. Hence, if you're eyeing for a safe, no-nonsense budget smartphone, this is it, the Samsung Galaxy M35. So everybody, that was all for my unboxing and full review of the Samsung Galaxy M35. I am thinking of comparing it with the CMF Phone 1. So if you would like to watch that video, don't forget to tell us that in the comments below. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. Saying this, I'm Pratima, and thank you so much for watching.